you occasionally may have heard and read ads by companies looking for people to take part in a clinical trial, but what does that exactly involve?
I know this morning CNS Healthcare can help answer that question for you, and not just from the medical side, but also from the patient's perspective. Susan Angel is a nurse practitioner with CNS Healthcare, and LaDawn Seymour is a participant. They're both here to talk with us today about clinical trials. Thank you so much for joining us, first of all. And LaDawn, everybody wants to hear from you. You're the participant. Tell us why you decided to do the clinical trial.
I heard one of their commercials on the radio, and it asked different questions, and it said if you could answer any of the questions to call and make an appointment, so I did.
And what were you suffering from that made you want to go to CNS to seek this kind of help?
At that point, I just knew that my emotions were to the extreme. It didn't matter what emotion it was just to the extreme.
So what surprised you when you walked in the door at CNS about this experience?
Everyone was very comforting and caring. They were nice. They made you feel comfortable. It wasn't real clinical or whatever. It was nice.
Yeah.
So LaDawn, I'm sure that you were nervous about the situation. We're all kind of skeptical of radio ads that we hear or commercials that we see on TV. But you made the choice to pursue it as opposed to going the conventional route, maybe going to see a doctor and finding out what was wrong. So what benefit did you get personally from doing the clinical trial route?
I don't have health insurance, and it was a way that I could get help that was affordable. After the trial, I've continued to get aftercare, and it's benefited me tremendously.
That's great.
And Susan, I bet you hear those stories quite a bit. People are looking for some options. They're not exactly sure where to turn. What kind of studies do you have going on right now in case someone is out there watching and they might need some assistance?
Well, we have trials going on for bipolar disorder, depression for both adults and children, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, otherwise known as ADHD, for both adults and children. We also have a study going on for people with hypertension, and also for people who are experiencing sexual side effects related to their antidepressant medication.
So let me ask you this question. What would happen during a typical visit? Let's say that someone calls, they want to get signed up like LaDawn did for a clinical trial. What happens during that visit?
Well, the first appointment they come in, they get a pre-screening, and during that time frame we're looking at their medical history, their current symptoms, and just anything outstanding in their history that would either preclude them from participating or allow them to move forward in the trial. And that typically lasts about 30 to 45 minutes. And if the patients meet all those criteria, then we'll sign them up for a screening appointment. And that's when they actually enroll into the study. They'll meet the doctor, the nurse practitioner, and the clinical team. And they get a full, thorough workup, both mental health, medical, including lab work, diagnostics, EKG, that type of thing. So it's a real thorough process.
Sounds like it.
And there's nothing out of pocket for them?
No, nothing. There's no health insurance required. There's no fee for that. And in fact, the folks who participate receive a stipend for their time and travel.
Okay.
Wow, that's great.
LaDawn, would you do this again if you had to go back and relive this experience?
I would absolutely do it again. I would recommend that anybody do it. It's wonderful. It was a pleasant experience.
And yeah, you said that everybody there was just friendly. They made you feel right at home, right? And so
Yes.
Was it like a doctor's office? Was it like your previous doctor's office experiences, or?
No, not at all.
I feel like it was a completely different game, right?
Yes,
That's
very
great.
much so.
That's great.
And Susan, this really is an option, though, for people who need help and they don't really have necessarily the resources, or as you said, the health insurance to do so.
Right.
What would you advise if someone is thinking about taking part in this and they're watching right now? What piece of advice would you give them?
Well, I mean, if you're concerned about a symptom you're having, you need to address it, particularly if it's affecting you at home or at work or in your day-to-day life. And like I said, it's no cost. It's just a simple initial evaluation, and all they need to do is pick up the phone, give us a call, or visit our website. Our website also has some really good information about the clinical trial process, the studies we have going on, and you can even make an appointment through there.
Awesome.
And LaDawn, you're doing great, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
All right, it's worked out great.
absolutely.
Thank you both for being here, LaDawn and
Thanks for
Susan.
sharing.
We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
We also want to thank CNS Healthcare, of course, for sponsoring this segment. If you're interested in enrolling in one of CNS's current adult or pediatric trials, you can call them at 904-281-5757 to make an appointment for a 30-minute free session, or you can also log on to their website, as Susan mentioned, which is cnshealthcare.com.